In the vast ocean of time, where the ceaseless waves of destiny collide with the fragile vessels of our lives, there is an ancient compass that points to serenity in the heart of the storm: Stoicism. As artisans of the soul, the Stoics forged a foundation of steel, resistant to the emotional corrosions that life incessantly hurls upon us. In this intrepid journey, we will unravel the chains that imprison the mind and soul, thus learning the art of liberation. In this chaotic labyrinth of living, where Stoicism emerges as a beacon, illuminating the depths of self-mastery and inner fortitude. In the corridors of history, Epictetus, Seneca, and other Stoic sages whisper timeless truths, inviting us to transcend adversities with a silent and resilient strength. At its core, the Stoics were like blacksmiths of the soul, forging steel resistant to emotional corrosion. Pillar 1. Unnecessary attachment. In the complex labyrinth of life, the first pillar to be dismantled is that of unnecessary attachment. In a world where we are taught to relentlessly seek happiness in tangible objects and fragile relationships, the Stoics whisper to us, true freedom lies in the ability to detach. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. The example lies in the ephemeral nature of leaves which, upon falling, fertilize the soil for the rebirth of spring. Analogously, carrying burdens from the past is like holding withered leaves, hindering the blooming of our essence. Clinging to ended relationships or painful memories is a burden that hinders the present journey. Stoic acceptance invites us to understand that by letting go of dry leaves, we make room for new chapters. Getting rid of the superfluous is not an act of unlove, but rather a respect for the natural cycle of life. By eliminating the unnecessary weight of the past, we lighten the emotional load, freeing up energy for the present. The task is challenging, as we are emotional beings, but Stoic wisdom encourages us to cultivate meaningful relationships without becoming attached to them. It is not a denial of affection, but a mature acceptance that everything is transient. Thus, by following the first pillar, we learn to embrace the present with a light heart, free from the chains of what no longer exists. By letting go of the past, we make space for the true fullness of the now, becoming architects of our own emotional freedom. Pillar 2. Fear of the inevitable. In the vastness of existence, we encounter the second Stoic pillar, a resilient column against the storms of life, the fear of the inevitable. In a society that perpetually tries to escape the unknown, the Stoics raise the flag of courage, reminding us that the shadow of fear is fueled by our distorted perception of reality. Man is not disturbed by things, but by the opinion he has of them. Epictetus. The fear of the unknown, be it death, loss, or failure, is a fog that obscures the true essence of life. The Stoics invite us to face these inevitabilities, not as threats, but as intrinsic parts of the fabric of existence. Death is not the end, but a new beginning. Loss is not a void, but an opportunity for growth. Failure is not a defeat, but a teacher in the school of resilience. The shadow of fear is fueled by our distorted perception of reality. Our vision of the future is often distorted by lenses of anxiety and worry. The Stoics encourage us to contemplate the inevitable with serenity, understanding that tomorrow is uncertain, but it is precisely this uncertainty that gives value to today. Instead of being shackles that imprison us, life's inevitabilities are the tapestries that embroider the unique narrative of each human being. Embracing these certainties, accepting the natural flow of life, is finding courage in the face of the inevitable. Accepting the inevitable is not surrendering to passivity, but embracing life with a courage that transcends fear. True freedom emerges when we detach ourselves from the chains of anxiety about the future, when we learn to dance with uncertainty instead of fighting against it. In this second pillar, we discover that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. By facing the inevitable with dignity, we become fearless navigators, sailing the unknown waters of existence with the certainty that the only constant is change. May the Stoic flame illuminate our path, dispersing the shadows of fear and revealing the true nature of our being. Pillar 3. Illusory control. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the third pillar, a wall against the storms of illusion, illusory control. We live in a world that seduces us with the promise of dominion over all things, but the Stoics warn us about the futility of this unrestrained pursuit. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Seneca. The relentless craving to control every aspect of life is like trying to hold the wind between our fingers. The Stoics invite us to carefully examine what is within our jurisdiction and what is beyond our reach. Instead of getting lost in the frustration of uncontrollable circumstances, we are challenged to cultivate the serenity to accept what cannot be changed. The unrestrained desire for control is an illusion that binds us in invisible chains. Reflecting on our lives, many of our torments arise from the struggle against indomitable forces. The Stoics guide us to a profound understanding that by releasing the craving for total control, we find a freedom that transcends adverse circumstances. It is the wise acceptance of what we cannot shape that liberates us from the yoke of frustration and despair. Understand that there are limits to what we can command. Our quest for control is often motivated by the fear of the unknown and the aversion to the uncontrollable. The Stoics, however, teach us that true mastery lies in discerning between what we can influence and what is beyond our grasp. It is a balanced dance between diligent action and serene acceptance. By dismantling the illusion of absolute control, we make room for true efficacy, the ability to shape our response to the unpredictable. In this third pillar, we discover that true freedom is found in wise acceptance and the ability to flow harmoniously with the currents of life. May we strip ourselves of the bonds of illusory control and embrace the serenity that arises when we recognize the limits of our power. Pillar 4. Ephemeral vanity. On the stage of existence, the fourth Stoic pillar rises as an unshakable tower against the storm of ephemeral vanity. In a world where many relentlessly seek external validation, the Stoics invite us to contemplate the true nature of satisfaction. Hold on to things, but keep a free hand to receive whatever it is that destiny has reserved for you. Epictetus. The pursuit of external validation and recognition is like building castles in the sand, subject to the erosion of time and tides. The Stoics guide us to question the intrinsic value of this incessant quest for approval, teaching us to find joy in the process, not just in the results. Ephemeral vanity is rooted in the illusion that happiness resides in the applause of others or in the accumulation of material possessions. The Stoics challenge this narrative, leading us to a deeper understanding that true satisfaction is cultivated internally. By releasing the shackles of vanity, we make room for a more meaningful and authentic journey. Strip yourself of ephemeral vanity, find joy in the process, not just in the results. Celebrating the present, regardless of external recognition, is the essence of the fourth pillar. The Stoics urge us to value the journey itself, to appreciate the highs and lows, and to recognize that the true reward lies in the authenticity of effort, not in fleeting external accolades. By embracing this pillar, we transcend the trap of vanity and open our eyes to the richness emanating from the simple act of existing. May we strip ourselves of the chains that keep us captive in the pursuit of external approval, discovering the freedom and fulfillment that come from the serene acceptance of our true selves. May the Stoic light dispel the shadow of vanity, guiding us towards a deeper and lasting joy. Pillar 5. The turbulent mind. As we delve into the depths of Stoic philosophy, we encounter the fifth pillar, an impregnable fortress against internal storms, the turbulent mind. In a world that often resembles a stormy sea, the Stoics offer us a beacon for inner calm, reminding us that true mastery lies in the discipline of the mind. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Seneca. The mind often behaves like a storm that obscures the clarity of the present. Through this inquiry, the Stoics invite us to reflect on the quality of our life experience. Are we truly living fully, or are we mere spectators of a tumultuous narrative created by the mind? Our mind often resembles a stormy sea, pulling us into unknown depths. Mental discipline, according to the Stoics, is an art to be mastered. It is the understanding that we are observers of our thoughts, not slaves to them. The fifth pillar challenges us to cultivate mindfulness, awareness of the present moment, like a lighthouse guiding the ship of our mind through turbulent currents. Master it with Stoic discipline, cultivating mindfulness and awareness. The serenity of the Stoic mind is not the absence of thoughts, but the ability to choose which ones we allow to linger. Through meditation, reflection and observation, we become architects of our own inner peace. We strip away the tyranny of incessant thoughts, finding a profound silence that is the essence of true mental freedom. By following this pillar, we discover that mastering the mind is the catalyst for true freedom. We navigate the seas of existence with a serene mind, capable of facing challenges without being engulfed by the storm. May we thus become captains of our own minds, steering them towards calmer waters and discovering the stillness that resides at the center of the mental storm. May the Stoic light illuminate our minds, dispersing the dark clouds and revealing the true power of mental discipline. Pillar 6. Poisoned resentment. As we explore the depths of Stoicism, we encounter the sixth pillar, an impassable fortress against the poisons of the soul, poisoned resentment. In a world filled with challenges and misunderstandings, the Stoics guide us to unravel the chains of resentment, teaching us that true power lies in the art of forgiveness. He who seeks revenge must be able to endure revenge. Seneca. Resentment is like a poison we ingest, hoping the other will perish. Seneca, with his Stoic mastery, reminds us that the pursuit of revenge is a self-destructive cycle, and one who seeks revenge must inevitably bear the weight of that revenge. Thus, the sixth pillar challenges us to transcend the vengeful impulse and to find true strength in the ability to forgive. The liberation from the cycle of hatred lies in transcending suffering. By shedding resentment, we are not denying past pains, but refusing to allow those pains to continue to hurt us. Forgiveness, for the Stoics, is an act of personal liberation, a conscious choice not to be a slave to past injustices. Detach from the cycle of hatred, understanding that true revenge lies in transcending suffering. Poisoned resentment hinders the blossoming of compassion and empathy in our hearts. The Stoics, with their serene outlook, encourage us to cultivate an open heart, capable of forgiving not only for others, but for ourselves. Forgiveness, seen through the Stoic lens, is a form of self-transformation, a conscious choice not to let the wounds of the past dictate the course of the present. By following this pillar, we discover that true strength lies not in revenge, but in the ability to forgive. We become architects of our own emotional freedom, breaking the chains of resentment and allowing compassion to flourish. May we thus free ourselves from the weight of the past, finding true revenge in the art of forgiveness and in the blossoming of a free heart. May the Stoic light illuminate the path to inner redemption. Pillar 7. Illusory expectations. On the path to serenity and self-mastery, we encounter the 7th pillar, a fortress against the pitfalls of illusory expectations. In a world where many build castles of dreams only to see them crumble, the Stoics guide us to unravel the ephemeral nature of expectations and to embrace the raw truth of the present. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Epictetus. Illusory expectations often lead us to project our hopes into the future, ignoring the intrinsic value of the present. Epictetus, with his Stoic wisdom, reminds us that true power lies in the act of being now what we aspire to be. The 7th pillar challenges the illusion that happiness resides in future circumstances, encouraging us to find fulfillment in the present moment. The trap of expectations imprisons us in an imaginary future. We project our expectations onto tomorrow, often forgetting that the only reality is now. The Stoics draw our attention to the trap of excessive future projection, as it not only robs us of the present, but also leaves us vulnerable to disappointment when reality doesn't meet our expectations. The true reward is in the journey, not just the destinations. By shedding illusory expectations, we are free to appreciate the journey, recognizing that each step, each challenge, is an essential part of the fabric of life. The 7th pillar invites us to celebrate the process, to learn from the highs and lows, and to understand that the true reward lies in the present experience, not just in imagined destinations. By following this pillar, we discover that true fulfillment is in the serene acceptance of the present. We become architects of an authentic existence, stripping ourselves of the chains of expectations to embrace the richness of now. May we thus free ourselves from the weight of illusory projections, finding true joy in the journey as we walk the uncertain paths of existence. May the Stoic light illuminate the way to present serenity. On this journey through the pillars of Stoicism, we unveil the teachings that form the backbone of ancient wisdom. As navigators in the uncertain vastness of existence, we absorb the lessons of detachment, courage, acceptance, humility, and compassion. We strip the mind of the chains that cloud it and embrace the true essence of inner freedom. May the Stoic flame illuminate the path of self-mastery and fortitude, for we are all sailors in the uncertain ocean of existence. At each pillar, we discover not only a set of philosophical principles, but an invitation to profound transformation. By shedding the chains of the past, fear, the illusion of control, vanity, mental turmoil, resentment and expectations, we become architects of our own serenity. May we thus become masters of our own strength, rising above the tides of tumultuous emotions like true Stoics in a constantly changing world. This invitation to self-transformation is not a call to an easy journey, but to a courageous one. The Stoics, with their subtle wisdom, do not promise us a life free of challenges, but the ability to face them with grace and integrity. As fearless navigators, we invite all those who share the desire for self-mastery and fortitude to join this community, not as an appealing congregation, but as fellow travelers in the quest for true emotional freedom. Together, may we explore the uncharted waters of existence, sharing insights and inspiring each other to strip away the chains that keep us captive. May the Stoic light illuminate the path to present serenity.